How come I'm here?
I think it's automatic, Dr. Devi.
See?
Yes, I'm so sorry about that.
No.
Okay, so hi everyone, welcome back. It is the final session. Woo! Okay, so I will then introduce all of the judges that we have here today. Okay, so first of all, we have Dr. Santosh, our Mr. Nepal. Woo! We have Dr. Joe, a medical entrepreneur from Taiwan. And we have Dr. Jordan. Dr. Jordan is a clinical pathologist from Indonesia. And we also have Dr. John. Dr. John specializes in ENT and plastic surgery, and he's from Philippines. And next we have Dr. Chris. Dr. Chris, just now he did a sharing with us. He specializes in internal medicine. He's a vaccinologist. He's from Indonesia. And last but not least, we have Dr. Devi. Dr. Devi, say hi.
I'm present.
Okay, so all of these 6 alumni will be judging the finals. So I wish all of you all the best. So I'm going to brief the judges once again because of the capacity here at backstage. So the judges are also at the social lounge with the audience. And so during the Q&A session, I hope that the judges will raise your hands if you want to ask anything, and we will pass the mic to you. Again, judges, please raise your hands during the Q&A session, and we will pass the mic to you. Okay, another thing is, just now during the semifinals, we had 3 minutes of pitching and 5 minutes of Q&A, but now we are extending the 5 minutes to 10. So 3 plus 10, it will be a longer Q&A session. Yes, that is all the shocking faces. Okay, so we'll begin shortly. Dr. Devi, I'm so sorry because of the limit later. Yeah, so we will have to.
I'll be in the attendee seat.
Yes.
Keep on
Okay.
raising my head.
Okay. Okay. Bye, Dr. Devi.
Bye. See you.
Okay. All the best to the judges. No pressure. Same goes for the participants. All the best. Okay. To please WhatsApp the committee, not to me at WhatsApp because I'm here and I might miss the messages at WhatsApp. So please send to the other committee members for the name list for Medajit's question. Okay. So technical team, are you guys ready? Edward? Okay. Are we good to go? All of the teams have submitted? Okay, Dr. Devi, I'm so sorry. Again. How do we
How do
we're
you
still
how do you kick me anytime?
still waiting for the names. Okay, thank you, Dr. Devi. Okay, so please submit your names. If you guys want to put it, oh my god, hold on.
I think the host needs to put me in the seat.
Yes, I think so too. Hold on, yeah. Please don't send it to me because I'm okay. I'm just going to send it here at the live chat so that everyone can see. This is for group 1B. Bell?
Okay, hi Dr. Debbie. We're gonna remove you from the stage now. Thank
Yes,
you.
Thank
thank
you.
you.
See you.
Okay. So the names are here at the live chat for group 1B. I urge all of the teams to submit their names as soon as possible, please, so that we can kickstart soon.
Go ahead.
Okay, while we wait for the presenters of Group 1B, I'm just going to promote the AMSAAC special contest. So this contest include two awards. The first one is the contest award itself, and the second one is popularity award. So if you are rooting for any group, please vote and join and fill up the Google form so that the team that you like will actually win the popularity award. Okay. So to my baby GMs, yes, Rahul, great job. So when will the post-event form be sent? We will only send it later because we hope to see you until the very end. Okay, great. So we have all three of the speakers ready. Okay, so we'll start now. The time is yours.
Hold on. Okay. Sorry. Can we have a moment to test our mics?
Oh, okay,
Okay.
sure.
Okay. Check that everyone's voice is working properly.
Okay, testing. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, Grishma?
Hello,
Okay,
everyone.
perfect.
All right.
Let's start.
All right. We're good to go.
All right.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We are Team 1B, and our project is AMSA Health Connect. Next. Here is the list of our teammates. As we can see, we are a very diverse bunch. Next. And here's a quick overview of our contents. Next. And first, we're going to discuss the problem of what COVID-19 has revealed to us. Next. As it turns out, the SARS-CoV-2 virus is not the only thing to have rampantly spread across the world in the COVID-19 pandemic. There's also an overabundance of information. At best, it makes it difficult for people to accurately identify the up-to-date and useful information. And at its worst, misinformation which is actually damaging to people's health can spread rapidly. In fact, the WHO Director General, Dr. Tedros, has warned of an upcoming infodemic, which highlights the severity of the problem. And now I may pass my time to my group mates.
Okay, next. So based on the philosophies of knowledge, action, and friendship, we want to act, educate, and inform other AMSA members around the world. Next. By using amsahealthconnect.org. So basically, it's a platform made by AMSA members for AMSA members to fight misinformation. Next. So as you can see from the user interface, as you can click the countries on the map, there's another tab will pop up, and it will show about statistics about the COVID-19 in that respective country and a few buttons of AMSA universities in that country. Next. And after you click the buttons, it will then pop up into another tab that will show articles or news about their respective countries. So basically, we want each AMSA universities to publish like a weekly or monthly articles about updates regarding COVID-19 in their countries, so everyone is up to date about what's happening in their own respective countries. Okay, next to Grishma.
Now we're going to talk about implementation plan, how we plan to roll out. Next. Implementation roadmap, half month finishing the mockup UI for the website, 1 month, consult a source code programmer of realizing the UI, 2 months socialization to AMSA International and AMSA universities, 6 months launch of the website. Next. These would be our sponsors or partners: AMSAAC, World Health Organization, AMSA International Asian Medical Students Association. Next.
And finally, how about the future then? Is it sustainable? So maybe to motivate people to write, we're planning to make monthly prizes to give to each AMSA university so they'll be motivated to write. Is it about the scale? Is it only COVID-19? Of course not. I mean, it can be used for other medical problems or just to keep in touch with other AMSA universities around the world. And other users, I mean, we can use it as an extension for all the already existing AMSA International website. So it's just an add-on to what's happening right now. So next. So a quote, this is time to facts, not to fear. This is time for rationality, not rumors. This is time for solidarity, not stigma. Thank you.
Okay, so now it will be the Q&A session. Judges, please raise your hand to ask questions, and our host will pass the mic to you. Great. So we have Dr. Chris. I would encourage other judges to also raise your hand because you will have to wait for your turn after that. So it will be quite laggy if that happens later. So we have Dr. Chris and Dr. Santosh. I think we are still waiting. The clock will start when Dr. Chris starts talking, yeah? Well, do you want to pass to Dr. Santosh first?
Okay, I think there is some technical issue with Dr. Christo's PC, so we're gonna put Dr. Santosh first.
Yes, that would be best. Hi, Dr. Santosh.
Hello.
Okay, so 10 minutes starts now, yes?
Okay, my question is, you guys are talking about developing a website for the AMSA and AMSA Alumni and all the AMSA family. So how do you think you can, as a team, manage time and budget for doing this and execute this plan? Because as far I know, developing a program and developing a website is a really difficult work, and how you are going to track all the informations and how you are going to make it sustainable.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sanders. Sorry, I didn't catch the second part of the question. Can you repeat?
How because developing an application and developing a website is a very difficult job. How you are going to update with the data? You are going to keep the data and information about the people, right? So how you are going to maintain that? How are you going to maintain the resources, considering people, considering the technologies? How you are going to do that?
Okay, so first of all, I think I'll answer about the planning first. So first of all, we don't really want to just keep this project within ourselves. We also expect volunteers from all the AMSA universities around the world. So because this is a joint project, and I think as we all know, we're all medical students here, and we don't really have any expertise in like programming or web design. So I'm pretty sure we will find collaboration within all the different stakeholders. And for example, about acquiring information from nearby hospitals, we can collaborate with NGOs or maybe like specific government organizations within our locations to provide us with the data. And to keep it sustainable, I've said it before, we're gonna have like monthly prizes or monthly reimbursements for example, for AMSA University, they are more active and most active in giving all the articles. And another idea popped up is just that maybe we can give them free seats for EMC or MC or the international conferences, so they'll be very riled up to post articles in this platform.
We would carry it out by teamwork, and teamwork would really help that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. Santosh.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Santosh. So now we'll pass it back to Dr. Chris. I hope that he's okay now. Okay, Dr. Chris is here first. Dr. Chris?
Hi. Okay. So your main goal is to combat disinformation, right? So when you want to combat disinformation, you want to be heard. You want people to hear from you as a key opinion leader. You want people to get information from us and compare the information they have with information we provide, right? So the question would be, how would you manage to be found? How would you manage to be heard? How would you manage to make your website be one of the, like in Google, it has to be in the first browse of the first page, right? If not, then your goal will not be achieved. Whenever people find an information from Google, you just people will not find your information, and the misinformation happen will not be solved. So what do you plan on this?
Thank you, Doctor, for your question. As you've given the example of Google, Google happens to be really inclusive of every single person or race or religion or profession even. So we would actually bring out inclusivity in our app. We would actually tackle the problems of even the minor communities or minor problems, and we would spread our word. We would not only propagate it to our medical students, but all other professions as well. And we would actually also give ads to certain other apps which are more popular, like YouTube, and we could provide our ads to those apps and create more promotion and advertisement through that and reach out to people. And not only through social media, we would actually also find out ways so that we could in real life also, in an individual level, we could actually reach out to certain people, because many of us do have access to social media, but there are some people who don't as well have access to that, and we would make a point to actually reach out to those people. Thank you.
All right. I want to add again to Grishma. So basically, what we have now as medical students are quantity, friendship, and we have a lot of medical students spread around AMSA, around Asia. And what we can do is, because we want to socialize this website first to all the AMSA universities across Asia. Then after that, we want them to be the medical students they are, to spread those information to, for example, to their loved ones, to their family, or even just to their friends. So we want to have this multiplication factor after all the AMSA members in Asia knows about this website. So we just start from a smaller group, then we just spread, and eventually everyone will know about our website as a respectable source of information. Right. Thank you.
Your main target is the medical community or the layman people?
Sorry, Dr. Chris?
Your target, your customer segment of this project will be the medical community, the medical student, or layman people?
So it's basically going to be for the people, but with the help of the medical community, it'll help to spread amongst the common people, because like Grishma said, some people don't really have access or the knowledge about this website, so we can help to deploy these medical students as human resource, so they can help the locals to be familiar with the website. So it's like a medium. So it's a medium to get from one point to one point and to speed up the process of getting known amongst the world.
And at the end, everybody would benefit from it. So.
Okay. So let me make this clear. I want to understand whether your thoughts and my thoughts are similar. Yeah? So what I heard from you, what I received is that you want to be some kind like media company where the writers are actually the medical student, the contributors are the medical student, but actually we are writing for common people. Is that right?
Yes. So we want to help them understand what's happening right now around the world within our own perspective, in the perspective of medical students, in a personal level that some people might not have. Some news articles, some journals might not have. So we want to give the people, the layman people, about our own perspectives.
Yeah, it's a good. I really appreciate the idea, because it's a really good idea. It's just that you have to realize that being a media company is not easy, and you're competing against a lot of thousands, even maybe hundreds of thousands of other media companies around the world that are publishing content day by day. With YouTube and Google, everything easy, right? So online media are everywhere. So if you want to be part of the global community of online media, you have to really raise a lot of resource so that you can provide the community with the right information at the right time to the right people. Well, that's my comment.
Okay, yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Dr.
Thank you.
Chris.
thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Okay, we have about a minute left. Thank you so much, Dr. Chris. Are there any other questions? Okay, Dr. John, yes. Maybe one last question from Dr. John. Amazing. Hi, Dr. John.
Hi. Oh,
Okay,
I'll turn it on.
so
Okay, so I commend the group for coming up with a solution. So, as mentioned in one of the sessions, is that sometimes you don't have to think far ahead. I mean, look for an old problem and come up with a solution, a creative way to remedy a present solution. However, your approach to it, as mentioned by Dr. Christo, is that you're trying to publish something online. And it depends on my opinion, it depends on what is your target population. One, will this be the medical community? Or two, the lay person. So you have to modify your content because if this is a medical community, of course, you have to take into consideration that you have, as medical students, you have to produce articles that would be at par with more scientific information rather than the layperson in which you can just put content at the medical student level. So one would be you have to be your website has to be known for something. It has to have it's like a niche. So do you want it to be for medical purpose or do you want it for the layperson as part of their more information for them? Now, as number one, after knowing your target would be the second is the location. It's just like real estate, it's always location, location, location. So what your group decided is that you want it to be posted online. And a problem that was mentioned by Dr. Christo is that if you post something online, you would be competing for media attention. There, I mean, if we just type in a keyword in Google, it's going to give you a lot of hits already. So for a website to actually be part of the top 10 searches, then either one, you have to modify your keywords to in a way that Google will be able to recognize and to increase its traffic, or two, you have to pay for ads. And as a startup company, you have to be prepared that you'll be starting out on zero finances. You are talking about that, yes, idealistic, we want to be idealistic. We're going to get a lot of partnership and NGOs, support from our alumni, but then as a startup company, you have to know for sure that when you start something, you have to be prepared that you're going to be shelling out time, effort, and you might be working on a zero or even a negative budget. So I think for these 3 points, you have to take it into consideration. Although I commend that for you choosing a topic, a simple topic, and trying to create a creative way to spread information. But then I think what is lacking in your presentation is just more of the how you want to go about this information dissemination. Although given the time that you had, it's just a few hours, at this level, it's very commendable that you were able to produce an output with such a limited amount of time. So it's not really a question; it's more of comments on my part.
Okay, thank you,
okay.
Dr. John, for the comments.
Thank you
Very,
so
very, very insightful.
thank you so much, Dr. John. Okay, and I think Dr. John, you have to show your face more because you just joined us. So please ask more questions for the next few groups to come.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Group 1B. That's all for you guys, and we'll proceed to the next group.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, Dr. John. Okay, so next, Group 2A. Hi. Group 2A presenters, please accept the invitation. Okay, Pratana, I think
sorry,
you're...
we're not group 2A, we're actually group 1D. So
We're so sorry, but we are from group 1D.
Oh, sorry.
So
Group 1B. Oh, okay, I understand now. So, group 2A. Okay, hi Priyansh.
Hi.
Okay, so we have to wait for your other members.
Sure.
Switch on your video, dear.
1 second. Perfect.
All have been invited. Please accept your invitations. It will appear as a little ribbon at the top. And we will be strict with the timing. So 3 minutes for presentation and 10 minutes for Q&A. Ocean is in non-interactive mode, so sadly we can't invite him. Okay. Priyansh, do you want to present the whole thing?
Sorry?
Okay, we have Abhishek, so we have both of you. So would you like to start, both of you? Because we can't invite one of your friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, we had Ayushma who's waiting outside. She hasn't received the invitation yet.
Yeah, because she's in non-interactive mode, and I think that was how she registered. Yes?
I'm so sorry, Marjorie. Can Vel invite Ayushma?
Oh, Ayushma.
Yeah.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Okay, so perfect. All of you are in here. Please switch on your camera because everyone will be able to see your face. Okay, the time is yours or the best. 3 minutes starts now.
So, hello everyone. We are the defibrillators 2A, and our title is Next 3D Printing Technology. The sky is the limit. So let's start with the problem. Next slide, please. Starting with the problem.
So starting with the problem, COVID-19 spread. It spreads by contact and demand of critical care has been increased. So COVID-19 spreads by contact reduction, that's implementation of lockdown, and because of which industrial production is shut. And the demand of critical care has increased, which leads to increased production of a requirement of ventilators and PPE. So without production, there's no increase in production. There is increased spread and death rate. Next slide, please. Okay, so COVID spread and deficiency of PPE both leads to healthcare workers falling ill as lifeguards, insufficient treatment facilities. Next slide. Abhishek.
So the emerging global solution to this major problem is 3D printing. So what do we print? We print ventilator splitters, reusable masks and shields, plexiglass boxes. Next, please. Next slide, please. Yeah. So why do we print ventilator splitters? So one splitter implies that one ventilator can work in place of 9 ventilators, so there is no dependence on industrial lockdown. And plexiglass boxes, we can have no contact with patient's breath during sample collection or invasive intubation. There's no shipment delay or cost in this method. Next slide, please. Next, yeah. So reusable masks and shields. So there's less wastage of resources as compared to disposable mask production. There's better protection and reliability. And as others, there's no shipment delay or cost. Next, please.
Okay, so implementation. Next slide. The cost is really cost effective as we can did the cost analysis over here. Profitable as cost of ventilator production is way too greater than splitting the ventilators. Next slide. Next slide. Marketing plan. We need to reach the social media news channels, medical fraternity associations, approach industrialists who can invest and establish production at district levels. Next slide. Why? Because like even with Nepal has 2.81 crore population, it has 600 ventilators. That's so less. So next slide. This is a reality. India needs to ramp up with manufacture of ventilator components. Next slide. And it has been a success as we can see over here. Next slide. Stakeholders can be industrialists, hospitals, doctors, health industries. Next slide. Okay, there has been success in this field as well. So it needs to be FDA approved technology. Next slide. Ask potential sponsors. Next slide. References. Thank you so much.
Okay, perfect, amazing. So now we will start the Q&A session. Okay, judges, please raise your hands to verbalize your questions. Okay, Dr. Chris.
Yeah, I think this is a great idea. Yeah, it saves a lot of money. Well, if we produce more ventilators, it might not be really useful for the long run because when this pandemic finish, then the ventilator might sit in the hospital without being used effectively. But what I want to know is that I'm sorry, I'm not a intensivist, and I'm not really updated with this kind of technology. But the ventilator splitters can be used to split one ventilator machine to be used for like eight patients at the same time. You think that the setting can be set for the several people using at the same time? Is it possible to really set the ventilator for 8 different people, patients with the different conditions?
Okay, sir. So the question which I understood was like, is it better to have 8 ventilators or should we have splitters? Right. So basically, if you have 8 different ventilators, having the cost production is way too high, and the current statistics shows that we are way far behind approaching that amount of funding and that amount of technology for the hospitals. So what can be quicker right now? What can be the key performing indicator over here is how many lives can we save? That's the major question, and how many lives can we save at the earliest possible? So the 3D printing technology helps that. The only problem is like it needs to be FDA approved and we need to get in touch with FDA for the same at every point. And I'm sure like we can propose this idea to FDA with no other problems.
I'm sorry, I could not hear you really clearly because you speak so fast. Can you repeat the essence of your answer?
Okay, so the point was so having the ventilators being used with the help of splitters is something which is really better. Why? Because currently the situation and the reality is we have way too many less ventilators. We have one ventilator for 1 lakh per population. That's way too much, and we are not able to manage with the current existing technology. 3D printing technology really helps us out to reach out to those people and save as many lives as possible. The key performing indicator over here is the number of lives saved. So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Chris. Do you have any questions? Okay, no. Okay, thank you, Dr. Chris. Next, we will pass the mic to Dr. Santosh. Hi, Dr. Santosh.
Hello, Masari.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you
Uh,
and we can see you.
I actually like the concept, the way you talk about providing the facilities to the healthcare providers and also to the hospitals. But my question is, how much time you are taking to do this, and what is your planning, and for which period of time you are thinking of supplying these things? Because the pandemic is still going and we are facing the problem. And to achieve this, what is your target time and target goal, and how you can get the fund for doing this large project?
Okay, so the stakeholders have already been mentioned the presentations, which can be
Yeah.
industrialist investors, and we have mentioned some of the sponsors which are really interested already in 3D printing. So the fundings won't be an issue in the beginning. Yes, the sustainability is an issue. So like we need to ensure that the people are able to use that technology. That's the most important thing. So if I see the timeline, the first thing is going to be capacity building and like teaching the people at the places. But I'm sure once we teach it, it's like if you give a fish to a person, it's like you need to feed them daily. But if you teach them how to fish, they can like all like feed them for the next years to come. So that's something which can help with this 3D printing technology can help us with. So the timeline, if I see over here, is initially going to be capacity building and establishing the printing devices in the rightful places. So district places can be really good so that we can disseminate resources to the nearby hospitals, and post which we can ensure that the sustainability is happening at the same moment. So we need to ensure that the maintenance and all are happening. They are getting the resources over there. So yeah, I think it's about, can we do this, or can we have the basic one ventilators, which is going to take way more time than this. So reaching out to 8 people at once, or reaching out to one person at once. So that's up to us.
Okay, my question was, what is the time frame that it is going to be implemented? Are you planning for the sustainable way or just for this pandemic?
I'm planning to have a sustainable way, because the
Okay,
statistics right now
thank
shows
you.
that, yeah.
That's it. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Santosh. Okay, I'd like to ask if there are any judges that would like to. Okay, good. We have Dr. John. Hi, Dr. John.
Okay, so I commend the group. Although you're at first, when you showed your first slide, that you stated that you were the defibrillators, I was actually hoping that this would be a topic on defibrillators, and I was looking forward throughout the presentation, but that's okay. So in my comment for your presentation is that good. Your target population is very specific. Now, in terms of what I think the success of a startup project is that if it's going to reach, or it has an impact on a lot of people. So by you limiting your target population for those requiring a mechanical ventilator, you just eliminated maybe about 3/4 of that possible potential potential clients, because although yes, we see that mechanical ventilators are necessary, and that we see that there is inequality in terms of the allocation of how many patients are able to use your one mechanical ventilator machine, and your project aims to actually increase the efficiency on, despite having limited amount of ventilators, it can be used or accessed by a lot more people. So that's one good point about your presentation. However, the 3D printing, I'm quite familiar with the 3D printing technology because we actually use it to plan our surgeries when we do maxillofacial reconstructions. And although it has, a lot of doctors have heard of 3D technology, not a lot of clinicians would endorse it. Not a lot of clinicians would actually send their patients for 3D printing. Why? Because one, not a lot of hospitals or institutions actually have access to a 3D printing. And if they do, one, it was either donated to them, or two, they purchase it and they're waiting for return of investments. So you're actually banking on the success of your program on a machine. And as we know, technology can sometimes fail us. Machines tend to overheat. When you use them, they are prone to wear and tear. and every day new technologies are developed. So if, for example, you do get a sponsor and you get a 3D printing machine, by maybe tomorrow, next week, or even next month, there would be a newer technology that would be providing the same amount of effort that you're going to be investing on this machine at a lower cost. So in terms of sustainability, you're going to encounter a lot of problems in terms of financing, and second, maintaining this 3D printing machine.
Yes.
So actually, for me, it's not I don't like to question, because all ideas are actually very welcome. These are startup ideas, and through this we get new information that, okay, we have a problem, we have identified the problem, and let's come up with creative solutions. So this is actually it's very timely, because you have a specific population, but then in terms of the implementation, the financing, we just have to work a bit more on that. Okay, so basing the success of your project on a machine is kind of risky, in my opinion.
So just to add on over there, so this whole plan is in the beginning phase. So the phase 2 is also going to be involving parallelly having masks made out of 3D printing models, and also to have plexiglass models as well, which is going to be really helpful for the doctors, because currently the scenarios we don't have it at all, and the reusable things are going to be really helpful. So it's not only the ventilators which are targeting; these are also the options. And as rightly said, sir, that we may have future technology which can be better, but as of now, we have the best thing possible to reach out to as many people as possible as of now. So that's something which I'm really happy to say. But at the same moment, the whole things are supposed to be FDA approved. FDA has already given guidelines to make such kind of devices. So we are going to definitely get in touch with them so that we are not hampering any lives as well with our technology.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. John. Thank you, Group 2A. Okay, so all the best. And next, we will invite Group 1D. All the best. Group 1D. To the representatives of Group 1D, please accept the invitation. We are not sure why Prabhakar is not here yet. Okay, yes, Prabhakar is here. Okay, great. So we'll start now. Please switch on your camera so that everyone can see you. All the best.
Hello, can you hear? Okay. So we have come up with something which is known as ALMED supply, and it's much more than just a medical supply. Next slide, please. During this pandemic, a lot of the non-communicable diseases and the chronic diseases.
A lot of the chronic diseases and the non-communicable diseases, the follow-ups are being neglected because of the pandemic and because of the thinly stretched healthcare industry. So because of which many people who have pre-existing illnesses and which are also comorbidities for COVID-19 are unable to get the healthcare that are required. And according to one of our sources, prevalence of 62% of all deaths in the region are due to non-communicable disease. So this is a really important thing which we have to actually care about from a healthcare point of view. Next slide, please. So our solution for this is application. So we want to develop an application or a platform where people can register, people who are suffering from chronic diseases can register, or their medical providers or their practitioners can also register the people on this platform. And it's an online platform or a messaging platform which sends constant reminders and follow-ups, and also reminders for medications. They can also place their orders online on this platform via messages or via the online platform, and scheduled delivery can be handled. So how do you handle the scheduled delivery? We plan on communicating and having partnerships with local pharmacies so that it's sustainable. And also we plan on finding or partnering up with hospitals and some other local healthcare providers for the registered doctors, so that they can ensure sustained care and continuous care. So this local health maintenance level, what we plan to do is basically provide simple tests like blood pressure, sugar, and other tests. And we can also, if necessary, we can also refer them to another a blood drawing lab or phlebotomy person, so they can get the necessary test done, and the results directly go to the doctor. So this is a closed loop, and it's it helps in connecting everyone. And telehealth is also necessary because we want to make sure that the patient can also meet the doctor. And this is, again, like I said, a closed loop. Next slide, please. So implementation, this is the rough timeline. We start with developing the application and website, and also recruiting volunteers and training them basically to test blood pressure. And this can this can mainly include our AMSA international members from different countries and different chapters. And along the timeline, we promote we do the promotions and do the awareness sessions, and how the usage of apps, try to involve the local NGOs and GOs, and try our best to launch this in 1 or 2 months. And then you do the plan, do study, act cycle. So you do the PDSA cycle to see if there's any development, improvement, and act on the loopholes or any issues that we find. And slowly from one area, we try to spread this onto the other areas. Next slide, please.
Okay, I'm so sorry, but your time is up.
Oh, okay, no issues.
Okay, so next we'll proceed with the Q&A. Judges, please raise your hands to verbalize your questions. Yes, Dr. Santosh. Okay, Dr. Santosh.
Hello.
Hi, yes,
Hello.
we can hear you.
So my question is, you guys are talking about reaching people through the application, through a mobile app. How do you see the people from the villages who are not having the access to this?
So the idea was not only an online platform but also a text messaging platform, because everyone has one of those Nokia. At least if not, they might not need a smartphone, but they at least have these Nokia phones, right? So it's like an automated system. You send we will send a message to them with whatever the details are, like saying a follow-up is at so and so date, at so and so time a slot is booked. Do you want to attend it, yes or no? So if they reply back with a yes or a no, we'll get to know what the state is, and then if there's a no, we can call them up and see what's going on and build based on that.
Okay, my one more question is, how are you going to get the access of all those people who are having the problems, the non-communicable disease, and how are you getting the information about them, and how do you think that your manpower could handle these things? Because there is huge population, as you mentioned, 64% death is somewhere because of the non-communicable disease. So how are you going to control the load, the workload, and who is going to fund for you this large project? As far it is for the supply of the medicines and the treatment part, there are a lot of local pharmacies and local institutions who are already started doing the deliveries and doing the reminder things. How your project can make difference other than that?
I would like to answer to this question, sir. Thank you so much, Dr. Santosh, for the question. So regarding that, our project is not only based on building a new platform from our own initiative. It's actually based upon collaborating with already existing platforms that could we use in order to reach out to so many people like you mentioned, how can we reach to those 60 percentage people, people who have already been living with the conditions. So in that case, for starters, we cannot, do so much things at once. So at the start, our concept is we want to use some already existing platforms. Like our idea is unique, or our idea is in one place, but to implement this starting from the groundwork, it's completely different scenario. There might be so many challenges that we might face from local level or maybe government level. We want to utilize already existing platforms. For example, we want to there are so many apps, like for example, if we talk in Nepal, there must be one or two apps that most of the people have downloaded in their app, downloaded in their phone. So there might be a similar kind of app they have downloaded in other part of the country, other part of the world, in another country. So we want to collaborate with those app providers to request them to incorporate one additional feature in their app, so that those already those people who are already using those most popular apps get to know our concept, and since our concept is regarding the unavailability of the medicine, and those patients having problem regarding facing having the consultation with the experts doctors. So we request them to add an additional feature into their already existing app, so that those and we want to collect the data from those enrolled participants to get a brief idea about the prevalence, or let's say the burden of the problem those people are facing. So that would be our kickstart at first, and then if it after having those information, then we will like to go on a bigger platform. Like for example, we could possibly initiate our own platform, like websites or apps. That would always be possible. So at first we would just like to take help from other people, let's say from other existing apps.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Santosh. Okay, are there any other judges that would like to ask questions? I will count down in 10. Oh, yes, Dr. John. Hi, John.
Hi, I'm actually waiting for Dr. Cristo to pose his question first. But then, actually, what I would like to commend the presenter. Actually, I like what he said, that he used the word collaborate instead of create, because when we do the startup companies, actually, the first thing that comes to mind is we have to create something from scratch. But then what I commend about the group is that they use the word collaborate. It means you identify possible partners that have already existing applications, and you just find a way for what you want, the information that you want to disseminate into their application. So it's going to be like an add-on. However, these already established and existing applications, they, of course, when you have an application, one, you have to have constant updates, and two, since it is online, you have to allot monthly or a fee to keep it online. So if you are going to collaborate with these existing applications, what is it to them? I mean, of course, they would want something in return, right? So what can you offer them so that they're going to bite into the bait that you're offering them?
Okay, thank you so much for your question, sir. The idea here is, like you've made your point so clearly, that they would be having, we have to convince them to use our add-ons. So in that case, what we are planning to do is, we are approaching them with, like a mutual profit-based understanding. Like our approach, our initiative is not profit-based, but if we are to collaborate with those kind of already existing applications, so if we are, if we are giving an extra facility like some healthcare facility, or for example, consultation with doctor, for example, then the popularity of the app itself will go higher in the already existing market. So we would like to, there might be a question. So what would be our part in that situation? We will be playing as a, like for example, a contractor like we will be making a contract with them, like, okay, you made the this add-on available to your already existing users, and like for the consent part, you can readily already make available that pop-up notification that, okay, this data will be recorded from your part, and then they will obviously be profiting from that add-on, like more users will be connecting with that app, and it will be more popular by the time when people start using those apps. So for for that sustainability part as well, like if we start our startup as a scratch, we wouldn't be, I don't think we could continue it for longer. Starting is not a big deal, but to continue it is a big deal. So those apps which are way ahead of the time, so we can rely on them for the sustainability as well. So as per your question, so we would collaborate with them by making a contract. So they would also profit from that app, and we would have our motive fulfilled as well.
Okay, so you mentioned that on their part, they're going to be increasing the number of downloads, the hits, and the traffic in their application. Now, we go back to your target population. Remember, the success of your program will depend on what the content and your implementation. So your implementation is more of a web base. It's going to be available in an application store. And for me, I think that the greatest problem would be those without access to technology. What you're offering, okay, we're going to increase the traffic, the number of people that's going to be downloading your app if you include our add-on. But you have to consider that not everyone has access to technology, not even everyone has access to electricity, and even not everyone has a cell phone.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so that would be one problem. You cannot offer that we're going to increase your hits. One, you have to have your content must be really catching or timely, that people just by hearing about this app, and for example, I don't have a cell phone. I heard that this app is really good. I would actually be happy to purchase a cell phone, go online, and download this app. So that, I think you have to work on that part.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, so the time is up. I'm so sorry to interrupt, Dr. John. Thank you so much. And thank you to Wendy. Thank you so much, Group 1D. So next we'll proceed with Group 2F. Okay. We're having a little technical issue here. A lot of freezing going on. Okay, so while we wait for the technical issue to resolve, again, I would like to invite all of you here to participate in AMSAAC special contest. I can tell you that the prizes are totally worth it. So please, please, please sign up if you're interested. And yeah, I wish you all the best because the registration is closing soon at 7 p.m. GMT plus 8. Okay. I'm so sorry, we are having a little technical issue at the admin office right now, so it will take a little time to invite you guys back to the social launch and to invite the new batch of presenters. Also, a little more promotion. So I will be having Taka Sensei later at about 7:15 p.m. GMT plus 8 here with us to have his little sharing. So I really hope that you will extend the Amit link to your friends, to your chat groups, to invite more people to come and join us and witness his amazing session. I see there's a raised hand there. But sorry, Leon, because we will be inviting you directly to the stage and not by raising hand. I'm so sorry, there's a little technical issue. Okay, I think the technical issue hasn't resolved, but what we can do is, Yudis, do you want to play again? Oh, okay. So it's back now. It's okay now. Hi, Leon.
Hi. Yeah. I'm still waiting for my
Okay.
two other teammates.
Okay. So while we wait, okay. Please accept your invitation.
Hello,
Hello. Yes.
am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, but it's a little bit soft. Can you maybe put it nearer your mic, or maybe speak louder?
Sorry, what?
It's a bit soft.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, it's
okay,
better now.
okay. Thank you.
Okay. So we can't find Ashama. I'm so sorry, but we are having a little problem looking for another teammate. Um, can we have her Amit name sent into the live chat? Okay.
I think we have
Okay. Ayush Sharma. I think so. Yes, Velia, that's her name.
double A.
Yes. Okay, amazing. She's being invited. She will join us soon. So once she's in, the time is yours. Get ready, guys. Okay, she's in. All the best.
Thank you.
Okay, start now.
Good afternoon, everyone, because it's afternoon over here. Today, I'm going to talk about an app that we taught for mental health. Next slide, please. So, another mental health app. Why? The statistics show that there have been a rise in cases during this pandemic. Next slide, please. As you can see in the charts, there has been a rise during the pandemic and before the pandemic time. Even before that, there has been a 20% increase in the number of cases from last year. And why is this happening? It's because people lack a support group, and also because mental health is a taboo issue among people, still among people. So people find it difficult to talk about their problems to other people. So we've developed something for that. The next slide, please. The Real Talk app. Next slide, please. So how does this app work? Basically, we have a questionnaire, we have a support group, we assure privacy, we have games, and we have a helpline. Next slide, please. So we've developed a prototype for this. This is what the prototype looks like. It would also be, a link will also be shared on the chat, so you can go and check that. So how it works is basically, a person signs up using an anonymous name, then prompted with a questionnaire which has mode evaluation, day-to-day activities, MCQs. The questionnaire is MCQ'd, and it can be graded. Like 10 would be I'm feeling awesome, and 1 would be I'm not feeling that good. After with these questionnaires, we will give them groups based on common answers that are filled. For example, if someone feels 4 all the time, a number 4, which is not that good, then they will be assigned with people who are already facing the same problems. For example, if they have anxiety issues, they'll be in a group which also has anxiety issues. So this group basically is the self-help group and games group. So what happens now, why is it different from all other self-help group apps, is because this is basically a habit developing or to-do completing game interface basically. So there will be a checklist. Next slide please. So there will be a checklist, like you can see in the last photograph, there's a checklist which has dailies, habits and to-dos. So the to-dos will be like let's talk about the habits first. So if there's a negative habit, like someone has a habit of nail biting, or for more serious cases, someone is anorexic. So they can add that as a negative habit, and each time they don't do the negative habit, they get points. So these points will later be used in a game to defeat the boss or defeat any character. For example, let's say we're playing against Voldemort. So we need, let's say, 150 points to defeat them. So the team, a whole group acts as a team and tries to defeat it using points with their own habits that they do, the good habits they do, the good to-dos that they complete, and the dailies that they complete. And this will hold each person accountable.
Okay, I would advise another teammate to take over.
Hello?
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
so we want, in the future, we want a psychological consult, fitness activities affiliations, and
Okay,
yoga
so my
or
teammate
art
has lost
activity
connection.
workshop.
So this is the app.
I think your time is up
Yeah.
too. I'm so sorry.
Hello?
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Okay, so next, I would like to invite the judges to vocalize your questions. Please raise your hands, judges, and please take the opportunity to explain more during the judging Q&A session. Judges. Okay, Dr. Chris. Hey, Okay, yeah, Dr. Chris. Okay. I think Dr. Chris is having a little technical issue. Maybe we can pass to Dr. John first. Hi, Dr. John.
Okay. So I commend the group for coming up with a very interesting platform. Actually, what I like about this topic is that you talk about mental health. And as you know, a success of a project depends on how many people would think that this app or this platform is useful for them. And mental health, everyone once in a while would feel down, and by you creating an application that can relate or that is applicable to a lot of people, I think this increases the chance for its success in the future. But since it was cut short, I'm not actually certain what the goal of your app is. Is it one so that people who are suffering or feeling a bit depressed would have something to elevate their mood or their mood by using your app? Or is it more of an application that if I use it, I think that I would have professional psychological a consult by using your app? Because your platform, of course, you mentioned that it was more of like you made it into a game, you earn points and eventually you get rewards at the end. So is the goal is just to get their mind out of their depression? Or is it, for example, if I use it, I feel that I'm actually getting professional psychological evaluation and consult by using this application?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so basically this application is like for people who are depressed. They don't have the motivation to do even day-to-day tasks. So in their dailies, they can add like taking a shower. And when they check that off, then they will get points. And the whole group can discuss that they had an achievement today or they've checked a point, and the points will be added and everyone can see that their points have increased. So this is a way that people can actually do day-to-day tasks if they're suffering from depression, or even any task that they want to accomplish, they can do that. Also in the future, we plan to have a psychological consult for people who need it. For this though, we're thinking to collaborate with an NGO who can provide us with a psychologist, or we can ask psychologists who would like to work for a social cause, or we can give, which is the last option that we want, a paid option to users who can pay a small amount to have a psychological consult. And we will have helpline numbers on the app in case anyone wants to talk to a
Okay.
psychologist.
My next question is, have you encountered a similar application with this kind of platform, or would this be a completely startup in your knowledge? Is there already an existing application?
I search for
Yes, we can hear you.
hello.
Yes, yes.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, thank you for the question. Yes, I did find a few apps that have a app that focuses on mental health as such. So I've seen apps which have none that focus on mental health as the issue.
Sorry, I didn't quite get that. Could you repeat the answer again? Sorry.
Yeah, I said that I found apps that have this habit building activity in which we get points for every habit that we complete, and we can play games in that. I have seen such apps, but I haven't seen any app which focuses on mental health or which lets us form groups based on common interests. So all of this combined will be what we want in our app.
Okay. For what I see, this application may be an adjunct or an add-on. It's not meant to actually be the cure, right?
Yes.
Because in actually recovering from depression, you cannot eliminate the need for social interaction, and by limiting the success of your treatment to just going online on your phone and playing and I like a game, like, so it's actually a good, but then there has to be a disclaimer somehow that this is not this is not the only cure, because again, you're marketing your application to a specific population for those with for developing depression. So people might misconstrue or misunderstand that this is actually the only cure for their depression. So you have to work on that. But then I like this idea. The idea of a platform treating or trying to address mental health issues. Marjorie?
Okay. So thank you, Dr.
Yeah,
John.
hello.
I didn't know that you ended already. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. John. So do you have
I'm sorry.
hello? I think
Hello.
Ananya, you missed what Dr. John said just now. Okay,
Yeah.
but we have very limited time and we have Dr. Chris. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
okay, Dr. Chris? Yes?
Yeah. So, how many people that have depression want to declare themselves as having depression? I mean, do you think that people that are depressed or having anxiety would be interested in looking for an app to help themselves, and then when they see your promotion, do you think they will really admit that I'm depressed and I will not know this, and they will commit on using that? So how do you think you would reach that kind of community? And do you think, well, when they join a group together with the similar people with the similar depression, do you think they will be able to support each other just by having online together and playing games together?
Okay, so thank you for the question. So for people suffering from depression, what I would say that we are promoting this, and the main feature of this is anonymity. And at many times, people don't have anyone else to talk with. So this is a good app where people can share their problems with others. And just coming in a group and discussing, of course, will not solve anything. but it holds people accountable and it helps people, it motivates people to finish their tasks. So it's not actually a game only, it's task finishing that will actually help people follow a certain routine, especially for people who are depressed. They don't know how to follow a routine, they don't feel like getting out of bed, so it will help people follow a routine. Apart from that, we have moderators, but this will come in the later stage because this needs finance. So we will have moderators who will help moderate a group and keep the conversation in a particular flow. Also, all groups will have a disclaimer and a trigger warning before joining it, like a disclaimer on what the group is talking about, what activities are discussed here, and a trigger warning as in this may have mentions of anxiety. So if you're troubled by anxiety, please do not join it, or if you can't handle talking about it, please don't join it. So that's the best we can do with an app and reach out to more people.
Is this specifically designed for depressed people, or is it for people with mental health issues? I mean, there are two different edges of mental health issues. There is depression and anxiety, and there are people somewhere between them, like bipolar and things, right? So, which one are you targeting to? Only depression.
Thank you for the question. So we're targeting a whole population, whoever suffers from some kind of anxiety, depression, or some kind of mental health issue, or is just not keeping well mentally in this pandemic, or just wants to talk to someone. So that's the target population. And right now we're starting with youth, like college students and school students, and maybe later when we're more established, we can further take this to parents, maybe mothers, fathers, divorced people. So that's our plan.
Yeah, I have seen several colleagues of mine, psychiatrists and psychologists, that have tried to create support group, even online group, like a Zoom group. They create webinars and they create activity online to support these people with mental health problems. But do you think that gamification will help them as well, or do you have references on that, like papers published that games or online games can help people with psychiatric problems to alleviate their problems?
I'm sorry, I did not get the whole question.
Do you have? I have heard that people, psychologists and psychiatrists, did this kind of support group online, right? But when talking about gamification, do you think it will help? Do you have references on that? That gamification will help people with mental health issues?
So with this app, I hope to develop a habit in everyone, a good habit that people can follow. It is not a replacement for psychiatric consult, but in Asian population especially, the concept of going to a psychiatrist or a therapist is not that famous yet. People don't do it. People think it's a taboo. So through this app with habit building, we can also encourage people to visit a psychologist or a psychiatrist in case they need more help. So we will have moderators of the app who can help us do that.
Okay, I think the time is up. I'm so sorry, Dr. Chris. Um, Dr. Santosh actually raised his hand earlier, but the time is up. I'm so sorry, Dr. Santosh. And thank you so much to Group 2F. Okay, you guys did so well. Thank you. And now we'll proceed to Group 1F. All the best, Group 2F. Now we will wait for the representatives of Group 2 and 1F to join the stage.
Can I start?
Yes, if everyone is here, perfect. Please switch on your camera. All the best.
Okay. Thank you, AMSA members and organizers. So our topic is medical consultation in the post-COVID era. Next slide. What we did was, these are the members. Next slide. Next slide. What we thought was in this COVID era, like most of the OPD have been closed. So most of the chronic diseases and most other prevalent diseases, especially in developing countries like dengue and malaria, have been largely ignored. So we are trying to find ways through which medical professionals and healthcare workers can access patients who are actually suffering from other diseases other than COVID. I present my stage to now too.
Yep. Next slide, please. We suggest using telemedicine for medical consultation, and it's more easy to spend in urban areas than in rurals because there are better internet infrastructure for the public, and there are more facilities to enhance the awareness, such as public screen, and there are a larger budget for introducing new system. Next, please. Because there is no sufficient internet coverage in rural areas to deliver medical consultation to each house seems hard. To make it more feasible, we suggest building public center with guides and allocating junior doctors and community healthcare workers to the position. Next, Medaji will continue.
Hi, I think Menajit's connection is a bit bad.
Menajit, you're
Yes,
there?
his connection is a bit bad. Would anyone else would like to continue? So we won't waste time.
Okay, we suggested our solution as in rural and urban areas. So in urban areas, we are actually suggesting the use of telemedicine because most of the countries like Germany and many other countries were actually affected by COVID have gained a lot by using telemedicine ways. But in our countries, all areas are not accessible to telemedicine, especially rural areas. So in rural areas, we actually can what we can do is appoint certain junior doctors there so that they can directly telemed to top specialists in the urban areas. I think Mevasut is there. Okay, for implementing the plans, we have suggested using certain apps in urban areas. Those apps can actually be the time's up, so we'll answer the question.
Yes, the time is up. I'm so sorry. Okay, so please impress the judges at the Q&A session. Right now, we will open to the floor for questions. Yes, we have Dr. Jordan. Hi, Dr. Jordan. Dr. Jordan, just now I saw your hand was raised. Then, yes, Dr. Jordan. I hope that Dr. Jordan's line is okay. This is worrying. Okay, I think I think there's a little issue with Dr. Jordan's connection. Yes, maybe we can pass to Dr. John. Yes, Dr. John.
Okay. Sorry, I hear feedback. Okay. So I commend the group for targeting your target population are those patients who are in need of medical consultation, however, because of COVID, cannot go to clinics and hospitals. However, a problem that I can foresee with this kinds of setup is one, there are already a lot of applications offering telemedicine. So competition in terms the competition of if I'm a patient, I would choose to download your app so that I can have my teleconsult. So you have to work on that. The second problem that I foresee is that consultations, they have to be delivered by duly licensed and registered physicians. If you want patients to actually use your applications and get medical consult, you need to have a big pool of doctors of varied specialties that are registered to your applications who are willing to be at the beck and call. Because if I'm a patient, I just put a consult and I expect a response in maybe in an hour or so. Because for example, if you only have like 1 or 10 doctors and there's a lot of influx of patient consults, then what is the chance of you getting the consult that you need at the right time? So that would be the second one. You have to increase the members doctor, that the registered physicians that are actually part of your network in that application. Now, and in the part of the doctors, is this going to be a free app or will the doctors be compensated? Because it's one thing that okay, we have 100 doctors registered and we have a patient here asking about mental health and we have 10 psychiatrists. You as a physician, if you're gonna be getting consult, will you be paid for this or is this like a free application? Now, if this is going to be a paid application, then part of their implementation is actually find a team that will have to manage the financing part of your startup project. So those are the 3 points. So one is your competition. Your two is you need to increase your registered physicians that can give official medical consult. And three, if finance, if money is going to be involved, you need a separate organization or entity managing the finances of your startup group.
And because of like
Medati, hear you. Yeah, it's very buzzy from your side.
Yes.
Yes. Marina, would you like to answer first?
Yeah, I'll carry on with the answers. Your side is very fuzzy and it's actually disturbing the questions. Dr. John, I didn't get his first question because the internet was so slow. I just got his second and third question.
The first question is regarding your competition, because you are going to introduce your own app. It's not going to be a collaboration. So you're going to be starting a new app that will offer medical consultation. The problem
we're actually okay.
Okay, you were saying?
We're actually thinking, we're not actually starting our own app, but we're trying to collaborate with various other startups because starting our own app is not going to be feasible because we're not just limiting telemedicine just to the COVID era. Telemedicine, especially in countries like India and Nepal and developing countries, it's actually required for a very long process. So will require, this requires a very huge investment and very collaboration with other startups. So it's not that we are gonna make the app. We're not actually suggesting that idea.
Okay, so you're going to be collaborating with an existing application.
With an existing application and expanding their sources.
So, to the best of your knowledge, for example, in India, do patients have to pay for consultation through telemedicine applications? Do they pay a certain fee, or is it free of charge?
Actually, I'm from Nepal, and till now telemedicine app has never been introduced here because it was never even people and even the medical healthcare professionals were never really aware and never took it into account. So it's actually the COVID which has shown us this. So if this actually incorporates, then there might be ways like where the patient can pay the medical doctors like by various apps or like I'm not gonna be free, because if it's free, then it's not going to be like long lasting for all the
So it's not going to be sustainable.
It's not.
And you mentioned that so in your country, in people are not open to the idea of using telemedicine. So
Yeah.
how can you actually encourage other
Yes,
people to be
actually,
more or to actually bite into the bait that you're offering them?
yeah,
That's part of your
because
implementation.
yes, because especially we have this certain stigma that if we go to a doctor, and it's not a stigma, it's actually obviously like if we go to a doctor, then we need it's better if we actually visit the doctor and seeing the doctor, and the doctor touches us, and then only that people actually heal like so telemedicine is a very new concept, and internet uses for actually accessing healthcare, it's very new like it's a very new and unaware concept. So first of all, we have to change the perception of people towards using such apps. And for that, and this is a very good chance, because COVID has actually made people accept new modalities and new processes using internet. So because of lockdown, many people in rural areas can't even they don't have access to any health facilities, and they can't travel to other healthcare facilities. So this is our actually very good opportunity to make them more aware, and we can make them aware by various media outlets and various radio programs or various TV programs, and like actually and showing them, demonstrating them how to use such apps. So these are the various ways.
Okay, so I commend you for your answer, but I think that since you did mention that people from Nepal are not open to the idea of, telemedicine, wouldn't it be
Yes.
a more sustainable plan to actually create something, an application that would change the perception of people that telemedicine is inferior than actual consult? That would be a more sustainable, because you're trying to actually get them interested into or
Interested, yeah.
in accepting of the idea of undergoing telemedicine. So if you are able to change their perception, their miseducation or misconception about telemedicine, then in a way, a phase two would be there, collaborating with the existing applications and increasing their revenue for a more sustainable plan. Why not start with actually an app or a platform that changes people's perspective of the concept telemedicine? It would
Yeah, we can.
be more time bound and actually doable.
Yes, yes. Your suggestions are really significant and thought provoking. We would actually do that. I think
But then this is actually a because we
use
have
the existing tool.
yes, we need to adapt to the new norm. And if this COVID is going to continue into the future, then there might be a shift in trend from actual consult to more telemedicine. So this is very timely. So I commend the group for this.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. John. So I have Dr. Jordan's question here. He's listening to you guys, but he can't verbalize his question. So he has something similar with Dr. John. So what is the specialty of this telemedicine so that people can use the app and interest? Is it easy or have other benefits compared with other telemedicines? Please make it short. Just explain it in 20 seconds.
This is actually not our app. We're actually trying to collaborate with other existing apps only. So especially in developing countries, we are actually trying to make it like certain apps where a physician can actually connect with a physician, another physician, especially in rural areas where people it's very centralized. Hospital facilities are very centralized in our areas. So in rural areas, certain subspecialists can be there. Certain physicians can be there.
Okay. I think Marina's line kind of cut. Yes? And then? Okay. I'm so sorry, but your time is up for the Q&A. Thank you so much. I wish you guys all the best to Group 1F. And we will now proceed to the last group of the finals. Thank you. Thank you, judges. And judges, if it's possible, please try to make the question shorter and maybe ask one question each so that we can have other judges asking too. Dr. Santosh hand is still up. I think Dr. Santosh wants to say something. Is it okay if we pass the mic to Dr. Santosh for a while? Yes, Dr. Santosh?
So this is not just a question answer. I just wanted to add some points. Actually, the telemedicine is working right now in Nepal, and to mention you, I'm currently in isolation with the CEO of the person who is running this telemedicine in Nepal. The program is called Dr. Sun Call, and we both are in the same house in isolation after contact with the COVID patients. And I'm really happy that you guys presented over this, but you need to know about your place and how it is working. There are many challenges, but they're doing pretty well. And I just wanted to mention you that there is something like telemedicine still working since 2 years in Nepal, and they are flourishing right now. That's it. Thank you,
Okay,
Azari.
thank you, Dr. Santosh. I'm so sorry. Okay, so now we will then have our last group, last finalist to present. All the best, and the time starts now.
Hi everyone, I'm Ajita from Group 2G, and today we'll be talking about the new norm, reimagining medical education. So with the COVID pandemic, our education has moved online, and the problem with it is there's one directional or one dimensional flow of information, leaving the students demotivated and alienated because there's lack of interaction between the teacher and the students and among the students as well. Another problem that it poses is because we're not able to practice maintaining proper patient rapport, which is vital as a career in a medical practitioner. Also, we're not able to witness the signs and symptoms the patient present with and not being able to see it firsthand. Also, we're not able to see operation theaters, and also that also poses a risk. There's delay in our academic career because our exams are stopped and halted for right now. Next slide, please, Nisha.
All right. So for the solution part, for the theory one, the solution is conducting medical examination. Interventional strategy can be implemented. Other than that, is regular virtual mode of the classes can be more interactive, such as like problem-based learning and case-based discussion among the medical student. And then we also like improvise the available online content by partnering with the companies and virtual education platform like courses and AMSAAC and others. So for the clinical part, we can do a small group of clinical rotation with a proper precautionary measure to be followed. So next slide.
Yeah. Part 3, implementation of the idea. So our hack, it is a self-sustainable, immediately applicable and ready to use idea. So the implementation, I guess everyone's very well aware. One of the ideas that we have put forward is AirMeet, shifting weekly classes from other platforms to a more interactive platform, that is AirMeet, not regularly, on a trial basis first, followed by a regular basis. Teachers or professor discusses the lecture live, followed by the division of students for PBLs and case-based discussions. PBL stands for problem-based learning in the social launch, which can be supervised by professors, as it has been experienced in the Big Family Day. In order to improve clinical learning, a self-directed learning approach protocol to be followed regularly, wherein the method of simulation can be followed to discuss cases either with existing software support or live interaction between doctor-patient team for the students. Lastly, the marketing strategy. So we need to pitch this idea to various universities and different chapters, and we would require the support of AMSA International, AMSA Alumni Club, local chapters, and of course, AirMeet and other educational partners. So we are a group. Hire us. We will help you with the marketing strategy, and that's our plan. So thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Great job. So now we will then proceed to the Q&A session. Judges, last group, come on, please raise your hands. Woo! Okay, come on, judges. Dr. Jordan, Dr. Chris, Dr. Davy, Dr. Santosh, Dr. John. Okay, Dr. John, please pass the mic. Thank you.
Okay, so very nice idea. In just you, this would be a competitor of Lecturio. Is that what you're trying to come up with? Because Lecturio, it's also like a self it's self-directed learning. You enter you enter a lecture online, and then if there's a teacher, you get information through this. So in a way, how would you create this application or platform different from those that are already existing, like Lecturio?
Yes, I would request the timekeeper Edward if he could switch on to the references slide. First of all, thank you, Dr. John, for the question. We are so sorry if our idea was not clear. So we are not focusing on creating a competitive application, to be very honest. And we are basically focusing, as a marketing group, bringing those applications, those ideas, and, implementing them in the best way possible. So one idea that we did mention in our solutions was, working with these partners to bring subsidized, or I would say at a discounted rate, these applications that are already available, rather than creating a new content database, because we ourselves are medical students, right? That would require a lot of support of, I would say, doctors, content support, and we do know that already there are a lot of good existing apps. Like Curio is an amazing app, and a lot of simulation platforms. So our as I said, our group idea is basically a marketing idea, simple, self-sustainable solution that bringing all those ideas together on a common platform. For example, as if I said, as an AirMe, wherein the professor teaches live, followed by discussions, wherein the teaching can be facilitated by applications like Lecturio, Body Interact, and other simulation platforms. And so, yeah, I hope I answered that question.
Okay, so one point is you are going to work with an existing app, so it's more of a collaboration rather than a startup company. Okay, so well, in terms of the side of, for example, Lecturio, how can you guarantee that it's not good? It's, of course, would be a partnership. In partnerships, both sides would be benefiting from it. You getting the lectures as medical students and the medical student community, and two, on their part. So how can you assure them that this is not going to be, they're not going to get the short end of the stick?
I'm sorry, Professor, just a question I would just wanted to clear. So to assure the university or the professor or the lecturer or the sponsor company?
We are just actually, okay, let's not use the word lecturio. An online lecture company offering education through teleconferencing. Okay.
Right.
So again, your group is more on the marketing. So the goal of marketing is actually to increase visibility, increase knowledge about a certain application that actually could be not being heard of by most medical students. So how? I am more concerned in is how. What are concrete steps for you to be able to tell your partner that, okay, if you partner with us, you're not going to get the short end of the stick. Both of us will benefit in this relationship.
Got it, sir.
Implementation. Yes. How? You just give me one way.
Yes,
are you going to require your classmates? Oh, you have to subscribe to this application, because we need the steps. So just give me one.
Right, sir. All right. So answering to your question, to ensure that both ends benefit equally and are on the scoring side of, or I would say the benefiting side of the partnership. So our implementation idea is basically providing first step, as you mentioned, an outreach in terms of the support from, of course, the AMSA group to helping them reach most of the universities. And if I would say, there might be another subsequent question that the professor or that university might not be sure of the content. So this platform that that we plan to bridge on is basically bringing all those applications or online lecture groups as well as the teaching community together, so that they can experience, they can test out, and then they can choose the best option. Now, what the benefit to the team, the online lecture team, is that they get an opportunity to present themselves to the professors, a platform where they can present their content, present their how the platform works, and give them a go-through. So that's basically something I'm sure that I think the professors would like, getting a hands-on tour on how the platform is, and then getting an opportunity to try out the platform before deciding on if that would be the right supplementation to their education, to their students' education, or to the group that they're teaching on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. John. I'm so sorry for my background because it's raining right now here. But I will then convey Dr. Jordan's question before inviting Dr. Chris up the stage. Okay, so Dr. Jordan has compiled 3 questions and he has sent them to me. Please answer them in short sentences, yeah? So he's asking, how about for clinical practice lesson? Can you use your platform? That is number 1. Because for PBL or other lecturers, it might be okay. But how about for clinical skills? That is number 2. And number 3, how about the university? Will you collaborate with the university, or you just offer them to use your app? Okay, so please answer them.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much, Dr. Eudes, for the wonderful question. So as mentioned, for the clinical scenarios, there are 2 methods depending on the situation of the university itself or the hospital itself. So the first preferred method is, or I would say is, the first method would be, a doctor-patient interaction happening live for the students to understand, how their professor is dealing with the patient. That might have its implications, but that can be worked on. The second, which is the more comfortable option, is getting a simulation platform on board. There are wonderful simulation platforms. If I would mention one, Body Interact, wherein they provide your students an opportunity to experience the case almost similar to a real life scenario. So the fear of making mistakes and taking up decisions themselves is an opportunity that these platforms provide. So that is one thing that can be used as a supplementation to the clinical learning for the situation right now, and can actually facilitate even a better mode of clinical learning for them. So that's one part. Then second, as you've asked, that how will we connect? So platform basically are the support of AMSA, AMSA Alumni Club, and AMSA Local, which already are in touch with universities. We have a wonderful network of members, universities, and students. So our platform aims to that network with the learning platforms, so the universities can assess that platform as well as the education platforms, and they come together on our platform to communicate and choose the best options possible, explore all options, and choose the best method of learning for their students. I hope I answered your question, Dr. Vidas. Thank you so much.
Perfect, Kush. Okay, so next we will pass the mic to Dr. Chris. Okay. Hi, Dr. Chris.
Yeah, okay. So I have 2 comments for you. The first one is that when I heard that you say that what you want to do is marketing, I assume that actually what you want to build is the marketplace. Hopefully I made it right. So marketplace usually have 2 different together in one platform, so they will help each other and benefit in the end. Like for the student to find a lecture, a knowledge, and for the professor or lecturer, students. That's what usually the place does. But this one, when I heard that you said that you also to bring on another party, that is the platform like Lecturio and other platforms inside, and then when you answer Dr. Jordan's question, that you will also bring in universities inside your platform. It made me a little bit confused whether it is a marketplace or not.
because as a marketplace, you have to define your customers and who are your customers, your target markets, and what are the values that you are going to provide. Now, the second thing is that I want to ask you whether you want to provide the synchronous or asynchronous learning, online learning. The synchronous is the face-to-face online. The asynchronous is the one that the lecturer publish like video, and then the student will learn by themselves at their own pace or at their own time. As asynchronous. Which one is it?
Thank you, Dr. Christoph, for the wonderful question.
Please,
I'll try to
yes,
answer.
please answer it as short as possible.
Yes, I'll be very quick, Marjorie. As regards to the marketplace question, Dr. Our customers are, of course, medical students. The universities. Our providers are those educational platforms, which will provide and facilitate the content. So they're like two different kind of parties. And secondly, as you asked about synchronous and asynchronous learning, we believe that a self-directed learning for medical students is the best way, wherein professors play a huge role and facilitate that learning. So having said that, the online platforms, they are not going to replace a direct interaction. But yes, they are going to supplement, considering the virtual barrier, bringing difficulties in that interaction between the professor and the students. So these online platforms can help facilitate that learning and not hamper, which might be happening as of the current scenario. So that's what our platform is focusing on. I hope I answered.
Yes, thank you so much, Kushin. Okay, so this marks the end of our finals. Thank you so much, judges. Thank you, Dr. Chris. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all of our alumni. And so we will end the session here for the finals, and we will restart with another session with our partner Body Interact.